Hi. Hello. Welcome to tonight's show. We're back again in this new series that we like to do here. On the Frumess channel, where we do best, worst, and underrated. It's new show. Really fun game that I found on Reddit. We tried it with the Ramones, and it works so nice that we did it with Misfits 77 to 83, and then I put a poll out on my community, on the community wall on YouTube, and the one that won the most votes was Misfits 95. So we'll treat each one differently. I'm sure we'll get to Jerry eventually. The problem is, you have to be somewhat familiar with the body of work in order to really play this game, and it's kind of hard. Some people, like, I really want to do The Damned. That was the other one that everybody really was commenting on. Damned, do The Damned. The Damned have a lot of music. It's a lot, and I love The Damned. I'm not, The Damned isn't like, top tier for me in my band fanaticism. So it's kind of like, it would just be a lot. It would take me a serious amount of time to sit and do that. It would take a lot more time. So eventually, maybe we'll get there eventually. TSOL would be easier because they have less albums, and I love TSOL. I mean, I like The Damned too, but tonight we're doing the Misfits 95, and joining me is the CEO of Riot Stickers himself, Sharpie Riot. As you know, the Frumess channel, we are powered by Riot Stickers, Sharpie's incredible company. And we'll be talking more about them in a little bit. I'll be educating Sharpie all about his company and telling him about the amazing miracles of die-cut stickers, of which he already knows because he's the one who told me about it in the first place. But nonetheless, let's bring him out of the digital green room, and we will continue on with our show. Hello.
How's it going?
How you doing?
Excellent.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I am.
I'm stoked.
Yeah, it was fun. Some of it, I watched your other episodes on this topic about with the Ramones and the Misfits, and it was like, these albums, they're ingrained in your head, but you might not have listened to them in a long time. So as much as I know the albums, I did go back and listen to them, and it was like a memory lane for sure. And the other thing I noticed, like, my opinions about some of these songs have changed. So had I just gone by memory from when I would listen to them a lot, I think my answers are different than what they would have been.
Oh,
which is also a fun thing about this. Like, you should redo these episodes in like 10 years with your own answers.
Yeah, that's great. I'm really glad that you had that experience. That's like probably the most optimal experience that you want to have when doing this. And I think we need to start this show off, even though this isn't exactly a Misfits show tonight. I think we still need to do the proper theme song. So I'm going to play it anyway.
Jeff is gonna talk about the Misfits right now. He's a nerd about this stuff, obsessed anyhow. Jeff never shuts his face, always needs to talk. Might show some weight if he went out for a walk. Do you think Danzig cares? He doesn't care. He's not into ranch.
That is so good, and I didn't know about the ranch thing until like the last one. I never knew what you were saying there.
He's not into ranch backstage.
Yeah, that's
why I have the bottle. You listen to the last one, you'll know exactly what Sharpie and I are discussing. We have Mushroom Leg is here. Jeff Comes Ripping. That should be another one of my many nicknames. Jeff Comes Ripping. I like that a lot. And of course, Rue is happy that the theme. Rue loves that theme. We should just call it the Rue theme
It is
from now
good.
on. Yeah, that's a fun one. We have cousin Jody Ramone is here. How are you, cousin Jody? Always a pleasure. Okay, so we're gonna play the game. This is the first time I'm doing it with a guest. I would suppose this is actually a game that you do want to do with a guest. However, if you try to do this with the Ramones and you go through 15 albums, it's literally a nightmare because you'll be here for 3 fucking hours. I figured, hey, Misfits 95. That's perfect because there's 3 records. I mean, it's not so because there's 3 records, we actually picked 2. So we have 2 best, 2 quote unquote worst, and 2 quote unquote underrated that we did for all 3 records. So we have 18 songs to pick, and we don't know what each other's picks are. That's part of the fun when you have a guest on and you're doing one of these lists. We don't want to know what each other's stuff is. That's super duper important. A little background before we begin. Obviously, if this is hopefully this isn't your first episode on the channel, but we talk a lot about the Misfits. We did the Misfits 77 to 83 last episode. Oh, and he's drinking the fucking bubbly. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Did you get the email?
Wait,
oh!
Cherry.
Are you drinking a fucking cherry? Because I am drinking a cherry.
Yeah, no way. That's not staged.
That is not staged. And when he pulled that up, and I knew what he was doing, he'd be like, "Hey, look, I'm drinking a seltzer." Fuck yeah, Sharpie. That's wavelength, baby.
Do you like this one?
It's one of my favorites. Absolutely,
my wife said it tastes like NyQuil or cough syrup or something. The cherry one.
You gotta like the artificial cherry flavor in order to enjoy it. I love that flavor.
Yeah, me too.
Man, that is fucking funny. All right. Anyway,
that is.
So we're covering the 95 albums and just a little overview, a huge shift in musical direction from the original band. Anybody who is a casual or not a casual fan would probably say, "Oh yeah, that Misfits, yeah, they just more of them singing about horror horror movies that they've written as songs, yada yada yada." I would say, man, the Misfit, in the same way that the Misfits can be broken up into like 4 different bands. If you're really a deep listener of the Misfits, 77 to 83, Misfits 95 it's another universe in a variety of ways. This is a band that is so heavily influenced by metal music. It's influenced by Jerry and Doyle being fans of, Van Halen and Kiss and whatever. And frankly, recycling riffs from their Christian metal project, Christ the Conqueror. And as I would discover, as I started doing this show and realizing that a lot of these songs subversively are actually about Christ, which is fine, which is cool. But it's just funny how I didn't realize it at all. Like Resurrection, Blacklight, Descending Angel. They write because Michael Graves is a devout Christian. He always has been. Jerry is incredibly Christian. He has a fucking Jesus tattoo with the devil lock on it, saying, what did he say? What's on the tattoo? Something like Jesus something. The blood. I don't know. Something.
Yeah, I don't remember. I've seen it like once, but
it's a pretty cool fucking Jesus tattoo. If you ask me, Jesus with a devil lock, that's pretty badass. I'm down with it. Whatever. Point being, though, is that they a completely different direction. Still, some of the songs are very catchy. They're wonderful. I enjoyed revisiting them. I always enjoy revisiting them. They're staples of my youth, but in a different kind of way. And it's it is what it is. But make no mistake, if you listen to this music, you have to listen to it as it's still punk, but there is a lot of metal, and then that progresses. By the time you get to Famous Monsters, I mean it's not even subtle anymore. I mean they're just really going for it in a variety of ways. And there's some fans of Misfits 95. People that love this sound. They love it. They love these songs. They love the vibe. They love the atmosphere. And it's kind of amazing that, when you think about it, the chemistry of these four guys, they found a sound that worked for them, working with Daniel Ray, who, was also the producer for the Ramones and was collaborated very closely with the Ramones, and now here he is doing the same thing with the Misfits. So he's bringing the Misfits into a professional studio and giving them a polished sound, but he's also giving them kind of a heavy metal sound, and that's probably has to do with the fact that Jerry and Doyle are playing these different guitars. It's just a different fucking band. And obviously, listen, if you've been on the channel before, you've heard me talk about this ad nauseum. We know this stuff already, but just for the sake of this episode and what we are discussing, and I'd like to turn it over to Sharpie if he'd like to add. Sharpie, if there's anything you'd like to say regarding the subject or the musicality. Sharpie himself is a musician as well. I don't know if there's anything you want to contribute as in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. As far as we're continuing the band of the Misfits, so we want to keep that in there. But I feel like if they would have just tried to pick up where they left off and did that in '95, it probably wouldn't have worked. Just because of the time we were in. So I think that there is that metal that came in there, but I also think that there was a want for a little bit more of a mainstream popularity. So I just hear a lot of rock in there too, in general.
Totally.
I know on your Ramones episode you talked about, there were at some point the Ramones said, hey, let's try to get something that can be on the radio that would have. So I think that was part of this too. Where can we not leave the genre we're in, but still do something that maybe will catch on and get airplay, and be like a, not just a punk rock or underground hit, but a mainstream hit, and I think it's hard for that to work when you're, in that genre, but there's the songs in there that tried to do it. So I think it's not just the punk and metal mix. I think there was kind of like a mainstream rock aspect to the albums too, especially
there were hooks. There were hooks.
Yeah,
they had hooks. I mean, to the Misfits as well, the original band. I mean, a lot of that is pop. There's a lot of pop in the Misfits, man. There's a lot of doo-wop. There's a lot of commerciality to what they were kind of doing, as underground as it was. So, at the end of the day, it's all sticky. It's entirely sticky. Right. You know what else is sticky? Sharpie? I don't.
Stickers. Tell me.
Stickers are sticky. Do you need stickers? Well, let me tell you something. It's something I need to tell you, especially because we have Sharpie Riot in the house, CEO of Riot Stickers, riotstickers.com. We're doing a special deal with Riot Stickers, sponsor of the Frumess channel, where you can get 200 die-cut stickers for $69. Unbelievable price. When you go to riotstickers.com/Frumess, link is down in the description. So go check out, take advantage of this incredible deal. You're going to get 200 die-cut stickers. What on earth is a die-cut sticker? Sharpie, I'm asking you, what is a die-cut sticker?
Well, a die-cut sticker is a sticker that we can cut pretty much in any solid shape that you want. So
can I get a devil lock? Can I get a devil lock sticker?
You could. We could get you with a devil lock that sticks down past your head and cut down around that.
Amazing.
We can do that.
How do you do that? What do you do that with?
Yeah, so we print them on our special printing machine, and then it actually has like a blade that comes back and it will cut the shape out. And so they're popped out. They're individual. They're not like on a roll or have extra like empty paper around them. So they look really good to hand out.
So would you say that's a computer guided scalpel?
Yeah, it would be. It actually works. It works with like vector form. So it says, I know I need to cut these degrees on the x-axis and these degrees on the y-axis. And it's kind of like AI even.
Whoa, AI computer guided scalpel of death. You know what, Sharpie? I think that would make for a really good heavy metal band name. Somebody get on that. Someday. I think it's time to hear the very wonderful song from the guy from Less Than Jake, and then we are going to launch right into our tier lists.
We make stickers, banners, and buttons too. Posters and promo cards. There's nothing we can't print for you. From stage backdrops to bass drum heads. We can print on shirts. We can print on hats. We can print on pants. Cheap prices and high quality. Quick turnaround times and free shipping. We also offer free artwork support. Great customer service and so much more. RiotStickers.com. Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. RiotStickers.com. Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. RiotStickers.com. Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. RiotStickers.com. Riot Stickers, we are the bomb.
And that is a promise. One last thing that I forgot to say before we really dive in. I got to tell you, I just got text message confirmation from someone about something that is happening here at the Frumess channel, April 29th, 7:30 p.m. That's a Monday. You better mark your calendar for something that is happening. I can't tell you what it is yet. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but look, see what Sharpie's doing right now. He's already marking
The
his
29th.
on the 29th of April at 7:30 p.m. Mark your calendars. You will never guess what is going to happen on that date, but it's going to be spectacular. It's going to be wonderful. So keep your eyes peeled like bananas. Look at that. It's the bomb.
I put it in my phone, but I just now realized that I could also just go hit the subscribe and notifications button on the channel, and then I wouldn't even have to do all that, right?
See that?
Mm.
See that? Sharpie knows. Smash that subscribe button. Turn
Done.
on your notifications and alert settings so that you are prepared for April 29th, 7:30 p.m. April 29th.
Now I got like
August
double.
5th,
I got it
19th.
on there and on my phone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be good. It ain't a mystery, baby, not to me. Full of. All right. Come on. Let's do this. All right. So it's time to begin the show, or it's time to begin the thing. We're starting with, obviously, American Psycho. We have 3 albums, American Psycho, Famous Monsters, and we're adding cuts from the Crypt. As you know, so the Misfits had I don't think it was a 3-album deal. It was because they were on Geffen and then they were on Roadrunner, and I believe that Cuts from the Crypt is also on Roadrunner, and they owed them another album, and the band had already broken up, and so Jerry, he took all the Cuts from the Crypt and he slathered them onto a disc and said, here you go. That's right. And you got to hit the like button here, you heathens, and give me your skulls. I want all of your skulls in the comments right now. Give me your skulls. What's up, Biz? How are you? Okay. So we're starting with American Psycho, 1997, first record. I'm gonna let Sharpie. Let's start with the best. You say one, then I'll say one, then you say one, then I'll say one. Remember, we're doing two each. And
I just while you were introducing everything, I thought of something. We're working on 3 albums, right? And we have 3 categories. So we can maybe do it now or at the end, but like we could categorize each album to one of these categories, right?
Wait, say that again. Wait, what?
So we have 3 categories. We have the best song, we have the worst song, and we have the most underrated song.
Right.
And there's 3 albums here. So like, which album would you assign as the best? Which one the worst? And which one the most underrated?
Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that as well. That's a third one. All right. I dig it. All right. That's gonna be kind of hard. Yeah, let's do it. We'll do that as well. We'll save that for the very end. Remind me.
Okay.
We'll save it for the very end. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll let since we have a guest, we let the guest go first.
Sure.
With your best songs. Go ahead. One,
So,
and then I'll do one. Yeah.
Okay. So for American Psycho, to me the best song on the album would be American Psycho.
Ooh, okay.
And it's just to me that was actually a really easy pick. It was, I mean, I didn't know if you wanted to include these intro songs into our picks. They are songs on the album, but to me, like that American Psycho song was the first song that was like a produced song that we heard on an album from the Misfits after all this wait. And to me, it certainly delivered. Like, I do like the intro, the Dr. Phibes intro leading into the song. To me, it's almost part of the song.
I was about to say, you could kind of count that as one thing. If you had wanted to say Phibes into Psycho, I wouldn't hold that against you.
Yeah, I'm just but that, you know, really, it's almost like more suspenseful with that there. Like,
sure,
I haven't heard them play. And so when that hits, it's the first new thing we're hearing. And to me, it delivers. Like, what does it start with? It starts with just a bunch of whoa-ohs, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like the trademark of the Misfits. So the first thing that they give us out of the gate on the new album is these chorus woes.
Very aggressive.
And then after that, if you really look at the song, I mean, you pretty much have two parts. You have a verse and a chorus like we do most songs. And the verse is very like thrashy verse, like semi like Earth A.D, right? That's when you look at the old Misfit stuff, to me, you kind of have like the Earth A.D, like the thrashy stuff, and then the really sing along, like a little bit more poppy stuff. And this song, the verse is like super thrashy.
You're so right. Wow.
And then the chorus is, you know, Walk Among Us.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Sharpie. Sharpie with the hot take.
So they took everything about everything that they had created before that and kind of mashed it into this one song. So to me, it hits everything. And then just as far as the actual song itself, like I think it's like before they go back into the woes, like Graves has this line, I hate people, and he kind of screams it like real guttural, and that line just is really good, I think, too. Like his tone's real awesome, so I just love that part.
Wow, that was impressive, Sharpie. Like, really, I have never thought about American Psycho in terms of Walk Among Us and Earth A.D, and I think when you look at the songwriting, I mean, it really hit the nail on the head in terms of, yeah, like that's exactly what it sounds like. Hey, this is what we're going for. And to that effect, they did do a great job. They did. Mm-hmm. It's a great song. I did not include I almost put American Psycho as the best as well. And, in doing these lists, it's very hard in doing these picks. It's so hard to go to, like, it's a given. American Psycho is a given. And like, yes, it is the best, but for me, I guess I'm thinking with my old head and not like, how much, because, when I was younger, American Psycho was it. Like that song was it. But like, as I've gotten older, I've gotten more, I don't know, when I think about like the songs that have really remained the best for me. And so for me, like, I think possibly the best song on the whole album, actually, I'm gonna sound like such a hipster for saying this, maybe, I don't know, or trying to have like a contrarian sort of view, but I really have always loved this song. From Hell They Came is just a fucking great song. It's just a 2-minute banger, and the chorus is great, and it's just awesome. You can't deny it, man.
Yeah. And that one actually has back to that guttural sound. You said one of the old Misfit songs you picked, it was like Jerry with that backup where it's just like real guttural sound. And he actually does it in that song too. Like him and Graves actually do it kind of like back and forth,
I mean, it's just like, you know, there's that breakdown where it's like down, down, down. Yeah, what you're talking about, where Jake goes, Bravo!
Yep.
Bravo!
And that's a skill he has for sure. Like
yes.
some of the backup stuff he really does awesome on.
He just punctuates so perfectly with the backup stuff, and he does it. He's the best hype man there ever was.
Yeah,
Fucking
there you go.
Glenn,
Yep.
man. That's what he is. It's the fucking Flavor Flav of fucking punk rock in that kind of way. That's where his vocal talents really lie. And so, like, this song, like, you know, in the night, I hear voices calling. It's just fucking great. And I'll tell you something, you know, I could almost imagine like I could almost see the old school Misfits kind of doing a song like this in some way, shape, or form, in a weird way. To me, it's the song that really stands out above all the rest. You could tell that they were, you know, I don't know. I had a hot take to, I'm trying to remember. Maybe it was From Hell They Came, but it was, you know what it is? From Hell They Came, and Speak of the Devil, you know what it is? It almost feels like they listened. I know this is going to sound really strange. From a lyrical standpoint, a lot of these new Misfit songs would be super interesting if they were covered by the band Danzig, not the Misfits, but the band Danzig. That's what I meant to say. From Hell They Came. I would love to kind of hear like 1994 Danzig do that song. And the same thing for my other pick too, because I think
that's a good point.
You
have to think that they had to have done that. I mean, why wouldn't they?
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Totally. In the night, I hear voices calling. They seem to speak my name, glowing bright. I see the eyes of demons reaching out beyond the grave. And I think that From Hell They Came. I mean, it sounds like them trying to do a Danzig song. And I'm not saying Danzig Misfits. I'm saying Danzig. Dark the night, their cries so lonely, feel their need inside. I can't fight this eternal longing. Feast on flesh, these ghouls tonight. And I could imagine, I would love to see, that's something else I would like to see. I want to see somebody cover From Hell They Came, like Danzig from like 1992. Would be really fucking interesting. I don't know how good it would sound, but it would be fucking interesting to hear. So my pick is From Hell They Came as like probably on the best of American Psycho for me. I just that song is fantastic. What is your second best of pick?
My second best of, and again, probably my two best picks for this one would be the general consensus, I think. But my other pick is Dig Up Her Bones. But again, looking back, you know, I tried to put these albums in the time that they came out too, even listening to them now, and just for the song itself. But, you know, when that album came out, it was like they had big shoes to fill. So they kind of started out with like, hey, let's do what we used to do with American Psycho. And then this was a huge departure. And to me, it worked really well. So it gave them like a new sound that they could latch on to that, again, worked for them. And you said that in the intro, that they kind of found their own style with those members that really worked. And this was, to me, like the launch off point, you know. That verse and intro guitar riff is super memorable. It's one of those things that you can hum and people know what song that is. So for like an intro verse riff for them, that's kind of a big deal. And you know, the vocal style was a departure from the rest. Lyrically, it was really good, and it showed that the person that they picked was, in my opinion, at least to me, was able to, you know, fill that spot.
Listen, for all of my Graves bashing that I do on the channel and all of my Chud bashing, completely compartmentalized away from that.
Yeah, sure.
Because we're talking about them as musicians, as they relate to this band, as it relates to this music, separate from my own personal interactions with them and beefs with them and whatnot. And for anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, there are tons of episodes with that. Go watch the previous shows and you'll see what I'm talking about. But in the realm of the music, I mean, yes, they were fantastic. Everybody fit in the place that they were supposed to, and as a band, they were a fantastic, cohesive unit. It cannot be denied.
Yeah, and the last thing I kind of really thought about with the song that makes it kind of stand out as a best song was you have a chorus that's not just a bunch of woes and then like 2 words after it. It's like 4 lines of lyrics that are individual, and yeah, they repeat every time they go to the chorus, but people remember those lyrics are memorable. You could go to a show and that's one of the people sing the entire chorus. So that's that shows a well-written song. If people remember a chorus that's not just like a repeated short phrase, it's like full lyric sentences and people remember it. So that's why I had to put it up there at the top.
I like that. Rue says, as musicians, they should have named themselves the Devilocks. There's a million names that would have worked for that band. And that's what, again, I'm not thinking of that band as the Misfits per se. I'm just thinking of that band as whatever. I call them Misfits 95, but the idea of them being them or resurrected or whatever, just a million names for New Fits. New Fits was always going around back then. 95 Fits, Misfits 95, resurrected Misfits. It all works.
I know I'm always an outlier on that, but for some, I'm able to group everything from like Danzig to When Graves Left as kind of, they're definitely different, but I'm just able to like put that all in a category together.
Hey, if that works for you, that's fine. Everybody knows where I stand, and
sure.
Yeah. For my next pick, my other number 1 pick, sorry, I have a frog in my throat, is another song is going to be Speak of the Devil. Oh, hold on. Before that, real quick, I just want to say one word about Dig Up Her Bones. Yeah, of course, Dig Up Her Bones. Also, the 2 most iconic songs, American Psycho and Dig Up Her Bones. And, Dig Up Her Bones at this point, for me, it's become kind of like Mother or any,
sure. Absolutely.
Like, What I Got or Monkey Gone to Heaven. Yes, of course, it's like the fucking song on the album. It's the outlier song on the album. But, for me, I still think for this experience, I ventured into the deep cuts and I went with Speak of the Devil, which I just, once again, just a really great song. Traded in my Bible for a little black cat. The time
it's
of
a good opening line for sure.
Yes.
Great opening line.
But I drink my water from a wolf's footprint. My soul wait, what is it? My something redeems the work of Christ. Wait, hold on. I'm looking for it right now. Oh, it doesn't. God knows on the angel of light. Speak of it's a great fucking song. It's got a great fucking hook. It totally works. Another song, again, I know this sounds stupid, but another song that I kind of want to see 90s Danzig do, because I just think it would be really funny. Like, it kind of works. I could just imagine Danzig singing "Believers be on guard, be strong and take a stand. The time of Armageddon's here. Some call me the son of the morning. Speak of the devil."
I think the phrasing of that very first line too, to me, is very Danzig.
Very. Like, just imagine like a little slower.
The enunciation of everything and the word selection, yeah. And I don't know if
traded in my Bible for a little black cat. Something like that,
Yeah. Someone can probably correct me on this, maybe even you. I always heard though that was that Chud did that line.
Oh yeah, I think Chud wrote the song. I think it's a Chud.
Oh, you wrote the whole thing? Okay.
Yeah. He wrote that song. I think Michael did From Hell They Came, and I think Chud did Speak of the Devil. And again, listen, Chud's dumber than a bag of rocks in many ways, but boy, did he write a good fucking song in Speak of the Devil. I mean, that is a great fucking song. Cannot be denied. I really do like that song a lot. And I think it's I think here's my hats off to you, Chud. This is the one bone I'm gonna fucking throw to you. I mean, I think you have one of the best fucking songs on the album with Speak of the Devil. It really is. It goes in my top 2. Now, it's not to say, listen, I do like American Psycho. I do like Dig Up Her Bones just fine. But like those for me, those are the best right now. And that's actually going to bring us directly to our worst picks. I'm very curious to hear what Sharpie has for the worst picks.
Yeah, I think these are the most fun to hear.
Yes.
But for me, this one was actually the worst song was easy. I knew it like actually both worst songs on here. I knew before I even re-listened. The worst song to me is Crimson Ghost. And it's not the song doesn't sound that bad, but to me, it's just like kind of filling some space. But lyrically, I mean, it's just like 2 minutes of "You're Never Gonna Get Me" over and over again. And so that just always, I was just like, felt so phoned in lyrically. And then this, you know, the overall sound of it, to me, there's not really a good hook in it. And then there's 8 lines of lyrics in the song that aren't "You're Never Gonna Get Me." And even those, it's just right out of like the Serial. Yeah. So I just could never get behind that one. But ultimately, too, like the lyrics really bother me, but I just don't feel like it's a strong song to the ear either.
We have something in common there, Sharpie, because Crimson Ghost is also my worst pick. And you know, it's funny you say funny how you say filler, because you know these albums, both records, I believe they have 17 or 18 tracks on them with the intros and the outros. Mm-hmm. And you know, it's a real testament to what the album had become by the time you get to the 90s, where you have CDs and you could put 71 minutes of music on a fucking record if you want to. And the excess of let's pack an album and then we're going to charge you $20 for it. And in the case of this album, it's only 39 minutes and 28 seconds. But yeah, there's 17 tracks on here. And the reality is they probably could have done 10. They probably could have gotten an EP out of this too. And if this record had been released, or if these songs had been released, at least by Doyle standards, perhaps in the year 2024, that it maybe would be a 10-song record with an EP to follow it up. Or, you know, I know that Doyle has said in interviews, he's like, yeah, our latest batch of songs, we're going to split that into like 2 or 3 records because it's just giving it away. But in the 90s, when, you know, it was an incredible asset to have 17 songs on one disc, where you could, drop your CD in and get a long bit piece of entertainment. You could entertain yourself for a long period of time. So it's kind of interesting. But the other thing that's interesting to know, I should have done this at the beginning when we started with American Psycho, is that just about every song is just shy of 2 minutes. Really, just a lot of them are a minute 41, minute 47, minute 23, minute 43. It's kind of amazing. The longest song on the record, technically Don't Open Till Doomsday, because it has a hidden track, but right, is The Shining, which is 3 minutes. So it's like, you know, it does make American Psycho, actually Dig Up Her Bones is 3 minutes and 1 second. It makes American Psycho very easy to listen to, because you just go from song to song to song. I think that's why, you know, it's as beloved. One of the reasons why it's as beloved as it is. But the song Crimson Ghost is utter just pap, just filler, just fucking like it's everything that Sharpie said it was and more, man. I mean, we just lost Sharpie. I'm sure he'll be back in 2 seconds. Don't fear, guys. Sharpie, if you can hear this, I'm going to keep going. Just for the sake of not to, we got to keep the dead air from deading. And I'm sure Sharpie will be back. So yeah, like I know every move behind this face. I have control over expendable slaves, When confrontation comes down to the wire, I'll use my cyclotrode and commence the fire. I mean, that's horrible. I mean, it's just not good. You're never gonna get me. You're never gonna get me. It's just not. This is really reaching. Here we go. Sharpie's back. This is reaching here. I mean, beyond grasping. It feels so desperate and forced. And listen, you got 16 other tracks that are not nearly as bad as this one. Do you really even need to have this on the record? This should have been relegated to the cuts from the Crypt bin. It just is not great at all, for all the reasons that Sharpie said and more. I think it's a grave song primarily, and it's just not that great. So,
well, one thing to toss into what you were saying though, and did I go away or did you?
No, you went away.
Okay. You were talking about why didn't this song get cut, but they had the space for it.
I was just saying that I think that I was talking about the length of CDs, but just that, but
there were songs written during this time that didn't make it,
which is even right. Dead King's Rise, and
right,
which makes it even more ridiculous that they put, which goes to show that Jerry or whoever was like, for the kids, let's put 17 tracks on. We need 17 tracks for the kids. It's like we got to chop, fill this thing up, and I don't know.
But someone must have thought it was good enough to be on there, because like I'm saying, they cut other stuff. They could have cut this and if they wanted 17, they could have cut this.
You're right.
And put one of the other ones on. So
not
someone
wrong.
There liked it, not us though.
Not us. What is your second pick?
My second pick is Mars Attacks.
Ooh.
Which I know. So yeah, which I know is one that people like, but it's obviously Christ the Conqueror stuff, which, if it was Christ the Conqueror stuff and it was good, that's fine by me, but it's like Christ the Conqueror style stuff, which I didn't like, and clearly not many others liked it. Just doesn't have the Misfits sound, so listening to it in the album doesn't sound good. There's just something weird about, there's a lot of lyrics in it, and I guess if you'd read them, maybe they're not bad, but just to put these lyrics into a song, it sounds more like you're reading a book rather than trying to write lyrics to have like a pleasing sound to the ear too. It's I don't know, there's just something about it.
Peered in from space.
It's like someone wrote a story, and then we're just like, well, here's a short story I wrote. Just make it like fit onto this music.
That's literally what he did.
And and it sounds like that. And that little I don't like that.
He looked at the back of the cards. He had the trading cards, and he looked on the backs of them and then wrote the lyrics. Jerry did. Jerry wrote the lyrics.
It sounds right. Yeah, it sounds that way. Sounds like someone read words off the back of a card. So there you go. That's the worst for me.
I have to tell you, I always liked this song growing up, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that a little bit later. I'll save my spiel on Mars Attacks a little later. I'm gonna push on to I can't comment on the song right this second.
Yeah, sure. It's uncut.
Yes. Don't Open Till Doomsday is my
no.
Yeah, I love that. Don't open till doomsday. I don't know. I'll be honest. I think I skip that one every time. Just get to the bottom. By the time, the reason why American Psycho was never, I always kind of stopped after The Shining. I don't think I ever really listened. I just didn't care for the song. So for me, the album was always 16 tracks anyway, and I'd skip over Crimson Ghost, and I would skip over Don't Open Till Doomsday. Always. I listened to every other song I could listen to. Never really cared much for This Island Earth. It was okay. It was like whatever song. Sometimes I listened to it, sometimes I wouldn't. But those two songs, Crimson Ghost and Don't Open Till Doomsday, were insufferable to me, even growing up. And so I really have nothing to say about it at all. I never listened to Hell Night, which is the hidden track, because
You
I
skipped
just
that, yeah.
because I skipped that as well. So I'm not even familiar. I probably listened to Hell Night like 4 or 5 times in my whole life, maybe like 4 times, who knows. So yeah. So that's all I got to say about that. I don't know if you have anything to say.
Yeah. So actually, I said no when you said it because that was so. I told you I re-listened to it now, and some of my opinions changed. And actually, I thought that would be one of my best before I re-listened. I really liked that song when this album came out, and when I listened to it all the time. And yeah, listening to it now, it was a little bit more boring to me, kind of like how you're saying, like just the repetitive of that. But I really loved it back when the album came out. It was in the top 2 or 3. And now it was kind of I more liked it because I remember liking it more than I liked listening to it now. I did there's something about the verses that I really like, that I always liked though. And just the way the song kind of starts, it felt like a really good song. To me, one of the reasons I probably liked it, like American Psycho felt like the perfect song to start an album with. And that song sounded like the perfect song to end an album with. So I don't know what that means, but I think that was part of the reason I liked it. It really felt like it was the end. Lyrically and the way it sounded. But yeah, it went down my list a lot from where it would have been,
Fair.
Yeah.
All right, we're on to our underrated picks, and it is your turn for your underrated pick. What is your underrated pick?
Yeah, probably. If I did this a week from now, I might pick it as my best song is Resurrection. I love the drum beat opening. It's short, it's simple. It's
a great song.
And again, I know there's a song from the old Misfits stuff that I think it might be Astro Zombies or I forget what it is, but there's one that you're always like, if I could only give a person one song
Astro
to
Zombies.
hear, and Astro Zombies, right? So this is kind of like my Astro Zombies for the 95 Misfits.
Powerful.
I feel like if I could give someone one song, and be like, this represents this band as a whole, this might be it. Again, it's just short, it's simple, but to me, it's powerful. The lyrics are kind of cool. Just a good representation of the band.
That blows my mind that you said that. I mean, listen, I love Resurrection, and Resurrection was almost one of my underrated as well, and I just couldn't pick. It was hard. Yeah. The underrated was really hard to do, actually. I changed it a few times. It's friggin' great. It's kind of got almost like a that's Resurrection, heart and soul, talk about me, laugh about me. Yeah, that kind of almost has like a doo-wop-y sort of feel to it a little bit. It's kind of like I could almost imagine that being even a doo-wop song. Talk about me, laugh about me, cry.
Yeah, if you slowed it down.
Into I better ooh, like something.
And
I
think to your point, the melody is very sing-songy the whole way through, verse and chorus.
It's great for that. It's great for that. But yeah, could be a doo-wop song. For my first underrated, I went through a bunch. I had to this was a real musical chairs for me. And I eventually landed with The Shining as my first pick, because it's just talk about, you mentioned American Psycho being that Earth A.D. song. And I kind of felt like The Shining was another example of them just trying to do that driving beat and those go, control the earth, and it's a great song. It's about I guess it's about poltergeist, right? Carol and
right.
Carol Ann. And so, yeah, I just think I really don't have anything else to say about it. I just think it's great. It's just a great driving track. I just feel like it gets kind of buried under some of the other songs. And
Well,
yeah.
Let me continue on because my number 2 was Shining.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go right into it.
And yeah, I mean, kind of, I put down the same things, like just the speed of it and kind of like those just crazy yells and screams in it. And another thing that I pulled out of it that I just thought was really cool was during the verses, there's kind of like this really, instead of just playing like, you know, your standard like hi-hat snare beat, there's like this cool like tom beat in there that is just a little bit of a departure from a regular punk rock drummer beat. And they're just kind of like stuck in there. You'll have to listen to it to hear it, but just kind of adds like a little extra flair to the song. And there is that Earth A.D. thing, but then like that Carol Ann part.
Love that. I like that.
But that's very much more like a little bit towards the, you know, a good hook and melody. So I think on this song, you're maybe a little bit combining like that Earth A.D. and the Walk Among Us stuff too.
Sure.
So, but yeah.
For my other underrated pick, I now can say is Mars Attacks. Yeah, dude. Listen, I don't, you know, like to me, I don't think of any of this stuff as Misfits music the way that I categorize the Misfits, because to me, the Misfits is with Glenn Danzig. But, you know, so for me, it's okay for Mars Attacks to be Mars Attacks. You know what I mean? And growing up, I always loved that hook, that whatever.
Yeah.
I just always thought that was fun.
Hey,
yeah.
I think I liked it back then too. And this was probably that's probably one of them too. Like, I don't think I had a beef with that song when I first got that record. I think I liked it a lot more.
It's cheesy, but whatever, you know, like,
yeah.
But that's why I secretly love it so much. Cause it's just like, and the lyrics are just atrocious. And yeah, so Jerry, you know, what a reoccurring theme of the 95 Misfits is Jerry is always trying to get a song on a soundtrack for a movie. That was his thing for the kids. Yeah. That was his big fucking deal. And so he was always chasing Tim Burton, and he wrote a song for Mars Attacks. They had Scream. They had Dark Shadows. I mean, he was always trying to do something and eventually they would succeed with Bruiser. Bruiser, and I mean, technically Scream too, but Bruiser is the title track of a George Romero movie, and they were in a George Romero movie, and so it did work out. But these lyrics are just super juicy. But yet on Mars, a darker side, like all things that God made, their tribe of war would heed them not. Earth they must invade. It's totally Christ the Conqueror, like,
yeah, it is
absolutely March of the Megamites. And then like the idea, like this in the story, they forged a sword of sound and steel upon the Martian doors. The voice of war would thunder there, and Mars would be no more. It's just
sounds like a Dungeons and Dragons script.
Yeah, but it was great. You see the Martian cities fall, see the death of the warrior tribe. Mars attacks, and now the planet won't. It's just fun. It's really fun.
You know, one of the other problems with it, possibly with that too, is, you know, I think it's hard. I know when I was doing a lot of music, when you like some people you can write music with, and you can have one person write the lyrics, and then you have another person singing them, and it works. But sometimes that doesn't work well. And so, you know, I know that they co-wrote some of these songs and stuff like that. But if that was more one that Jerry was like, hey, here's the lyrics and here's how it goes, and you're going to sing it, there just may have not been that good chemistry for someone else to sing it. Like maybe it would have been better if Jerry sang it. Who knows? I mean, I find that almost impossible, but
no. I think you're onto something. And if for those of you out there who have those demos, there are demos with Jerry singing it, and you know it sounds.
I don't think I've heard that.
I will hook you up.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that.
Yeah, for all that you've done for me, it's the least I could do for you. I got you, boy. Yeah, there's some great. I got to find them, but there's some great demos, and on them are
the Gathering.
you have Jerry singing the lyrics of Mars Attacks, and it's pretty fucking magical. And just in the way that like CJ or Dee Dee would come out and sing a song every once in a while, I feel like Jerry, in the way that he did Monster Mash, I feel like he could also come out and do Mars Attacks, and it would be fucking excellent. So let's move on to Famous Monsters. We're now on to Famous Monsters. Now, Famous Monsters is a push, even their sound, whatever comments I made about there being like a more metallic sound, things get pushed way over on that side of the spectrum. They push, they're changing their sound. And, like, that's okay. Like, even if it disagrees, I'm personally, Famous Monsters is a lot of people, again, another beloved album, very mixed bag for me, where I like a couple of tracks and the rest is nearly unlistenable for me. As a Misfits fan or otherwise, I just don't dig it. But the songs that are great are really great and just really catchy and listenable and stuff. And, again, they work with Daniel Ray, but this time they have Ed Stasium of Ramones fame joining the mix for the record. And they have 18 tracks instead of 17 tracks. And some of these tracks they're longer. The songs are almost twice as long as they are on American Psycho in certain cases, or they're just pushed out. But the total, it's the album's actually only about 5 minutes longer. So I guess that was an exaggeration because there's only 5 more minutes of music. But the songs, there's hardly any songs that are under a minute or under 2 minutes is what I mean to say. And
well, on this album, you don't have that long pause on the last track of Empty Space.
That's true. Oh, that's true. So it would be,
and,
wow, you could subtract 7-ish minutes from American Psycho.
I think 5. But then also the very last track of Famous Monsters is only like 30 seconds because it's just that Kong outro.
Right. 46 seconds and 1 minute and 22 seconds.
So in reality, it's probably closer to like 8 to 9 minutes longer.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, so it is substantially longer than American Psycho. And I guess we should just in the band.
One thing I'll point out on comparing the two albums, that first one, you had the contributing songwriter, like someone brought the song and they're like, hey, I wrote this song, here it is. But clearly on the first one, there was a lot more of like, all right, here's the bare bones of the song. Now the four of us are going to work on this together and turn it into the song. And on this album, you can see that it was a lot more of like writing teams or solo writers. So like a lot of them, you'll see it was like Graves and Doyle basically wrote the song together without anyone else's input and brought it to the table and said, here's the song's done. Here it is. Learn your part. So you definitely have more of that on here.
I didn't realize that, but okay. I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that's that would be a fairly normal thing to happen when you go from a first album to a second album with a band, where people start to kind of like be like, well, we're going to do this and you guys can do that over there,
I wanted to,
but I don't know if it benefited them though.
I want to take real quick. I just want to say what's up to Aaron is here. He says, great songs for karaoke. And we have Mom Longoria here as well. Better late to the party than never for sure. Additionally, I just want to take a look at our poll. We have a poll running. Favorite M95 album. We have 27 votes. American Psycho, 44%. Famous Monsters, 52%. And a startling, and I say startling because I'm surprised there's even any, 4% for Cuts from the Crypt. That is really fucking weird. But hey, I'm not going to yuck on anybody's yums. If that's what you're down with, then that's what you're. That'd be my guess. Be my guest. I'm sorry. So let's dive in. We're gonna let our guests go first, and I hope that they don't pick mine, but they might.
Well, I'm gonna pick the one I like. 99% of people would pick the best track on the album, Saturday Night.
Oh, Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I don't.
All right.
It would almost. It almost. I mean, I understand that everyone likes something different, and that there are other good songs on the album, but it almost blows my mind that someone wouldn't pick it. It's like it's fine. I just I mean, the numbers speak. I mean, it's one of the most popular songs of.
Oh yeah, on
that era,
Spotify.
so
On Spotify too.
obviously, a lot of people agree with my opinion, and I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be like, I think that's the best song, but so does everyone else, so I'm not going to pick it. I didn't want to do that with any of these. So, and it's like Saturday Night to me it's like Dig Up Her Bones Part 2. It's kind of like Michael Graves was the big new addition to the band. He brought his color into the band.
45 million plays. 45 million plays on Spotify.
Yeah. So, it's like Dig Up Her Bones Part 2. It's like Michael Graves' song on the album that's a departure from what the band sounded like ever before. The lyrics are really good. The songwriting's really good. And I also always like that Doyle gets like a 5 or 6 second guitar solo in it, which you normally don't get to hear. So that's a little fun added thing that always make me like it.
I will quickly comment on Crying on a Saturday Night or Saturday Night. It's called Hello Kitty. What's the name of your cat?
Cece, like
Cece.
Cece DeVille.
Cool.
From Poison.
I love it. Did you name the cat after Cece DeVille for Poison?
No, we named it Cece because I had written a song called Cece's Pizza Bitch.
Okay. So it's CI.
Yeah.
Great. Love it. Yeah, I mean, Saturday Night, that is one of the songs that I always skipped whenever I listen to.
Wow.
Famous
Unbelievable.
Monsters. I'm not saying, listen, I've grown to appreciate the song. I don't mind the song. It's okay. It's good. It's a 50s doo-woppy kind of song. A lot of people fucking love that track when Michael Graves, one of the many curses of Michael Graves. Michael Graves has new curses that we won't get into, but one of the oldest curses of Michael Graves is that, and then you could call it a curse. You could also call it a blessing too, is that Michael Graves must play Dig Up Her Bones and Crying on a Saturday Night at every live show that he.
I mean, it was his mother for sure.
Yeah. Wait, it was his what?
Mother. It was his
mother. I thought you meant it was about his mother. Yeah. Yeah.
No.
He has to play that forever, like forever and a day. And like, I'm not saying he's not sick of it, but
I'm sure he is.
That is a song that man will play at every live show as long as he's playing whatever, barbecue in a parking lot at Walmart, or whatever he's doing these days. But yes, that is people fucking love that song. It's a great track. Where I think it kind of suffers is that it's so fucking heavy. I kind of want it to be lighter and cleaner. I want someone to do a cover of it where it's got like a really clean guitar sound, and maybe someone's playing those kettle drums with the bristles, and just doing maybe there's a piano. Like that's what that song needs and deserves. And not to take away from Doyle's guitar solo, like do the solo, just, Doyle's guitar and guitar tone have always not really been very appealing to me in general. And so like a song like that is delicate and needs a more delicate touch, which is why I would like to see, it, transformed in some way, shape, or form. For my first pick, I went with what I think is the best song on the whole record. One of the best songs that the Misfits 95 did, period. Just, you cannot deny how fucking great this song is. It's super simple. It's super effective. It is absolutely, not only is it a great music video, but it's one of the best music videos, bar none. Like it's just a fucking masterpiece of music video. And of course I'm talking about the song Scream is just a fucking great song. The intro is creepy, and then it just goes right into the lyric, and it's just really simple. A chill runs up your spine and crawls into your brain, the freezing touch of fear. It's driving me insane. Although you tried to fight, you're dragged from the silence where you hide. I love it till you scream. It just fucking works, man. It really is. It's one of the best songs that the 95 Misfits ever wrote or did. And I think that was a Michael Graves song. So the flip side, it says Michael Graves, Jerry Only, and Doyle worked on this song. And so it really is a testament to that band, and it's a testament to Michael Graves. How about that? It's a testament to Michael Graves' ability as a songwriter. And I really do enjoy it. And it was meant for the Scream movies, and it didn't get picked. They got George Romero. And for anybody who wants a detailed storytelling of the making of that music video, I had Tank, who's a friend of mine, friend of the show. Tank came on and did one of his marathon sessions. We did 5.5 hours on the last one.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. If you like Misfits 95, and if you like minutia and stories, I mean, Tank can talk as long as I can talk, and that's actually the record on this channel for the longest fucking thing. And he told
how many hours do you think you have of Tank up now?
I could tell you we've done 17 hours, and
so out of the 17 hours, I've probably listened around 40 hours.
Oh, so you've listened to that more than one time?
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorite things on the channel.
Fuck yeah, dude! That really,
those are so good. That's the kind of stuff that I'm always interested in. You know, he's great at doing it. You're great at asking him the right things. But that's the kind of people I like to hear with, because there's so many people you can talk to, and I don't think they do it on purpose, but they kind of have their own agendas and want to rewrite the history of things.
Mm-hmm.
But someone in his spot really has no reason to do that, at least for things that you might be interested in.
Sure.
So to me, he's the best person to listen to the stories of. I mean, there's things that you ask him where he would be like, well, I wasn't there, and it'd be awesome to know.
Yeah.
But the stuff he does tell, it's just from such an unbiased point of view.
Yeah.
And it's just so real, you know?
Yeah.
So I love hearing his stuff.
And I don't know if he'll ever write a book. Frankly, I don't know if he can. So, and that's something that I don't feel like I'm saying that out of school. I feel like he would probably say that himself. I don't feel out of place in saying that. I don't know if he'll ever write a book or if he can. And so him coming on here and sort of going through that, his life story, and doing it in this kind of way has just been such a wonderful honor and unique privilege to get to hear that. And so him talking about that Scream, and that he was there for him working with George Romero, I mean, it was really fucking cool to hear. He just has he's just fantastic to listen to. So shout out to Tank. And by the way, Tank has his own YouTube channel. He's doing Star Wars stuff, and he also started doing, I don't remember. I'll put it down. Maybe I'll put a link in the description. He's doing stuff on YouTube now, and he keeps texting me all his videos and stuff that he's doing. Everybody should go check out Tank's stuff. He's just fucking great. So Scream is my best song, bar none, best song on the album. Boom, period. And yeah, what's your second pick?
Yeah, and just to chime in one other thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
That probably would have been in my best at one point in time, but when I re-listened to it, that one changed for me.
Interesting.
I don't know exactly why, but either way, it changed.
What's your second pick?
It's still up there though, either way, but it didn't. But at one point in time, it would have been. My number 2 is Fiend Club, just because it's such an anthem, I don't know if you've been at a show when they played that live, when Graves was still there, but that probably has a lot to do with it. But being in the room when they played that live and everyone there being on that, you really felt like you were part of something.
The community. You feel the community. Okay.
Yeah. So
valid.
And then I think another, just on that, just from an album aspect, and mixing and all that. Like, I feel like that song got mixed really well. Feels huge. Those choruses feel really huge. Fills the space. So, yeah, to me, it was just an anthem that I always liked.
And for my second best song on the album, I picked Helena, because it was the pick. The other picks that I would have put for the best, I saved for the underrated, and because I didn't have any underrated, so I was like, all right. And Helena for me is almost like their Stairway to Heaven. It builds up into this thing. I didn't used to like it, and it kind of grew on me. I used to see this video of them playing on that FX Sports, whatever, where they played that song live, and it just really grew on me. And it's from a movie called Boxing Helena, directed by David Lynch's daughter, Jennifer Lynch, in the 90s. It's a really bizarre movie about a doctor who cuts off the arms and legs of this woman and puts her in a box. It's just a bizarre film. And so that's what Graves is singing about. If I cut off your arms and if I cut off your legs, will you still love me anyway? Why don't you love me anyway? And it's just a really sort of peculiar song. It's very unconventional. It's unconventional for them. They're trying to do something different. It's slow. Then there's a break. Then it goes into the and it gets really sort of intense in a weird kind of way. Helena is kind of like their How the Gods Kill, I would say, like the song. Yeah, just like the slow into the thing, and which in turn I think is like the closest thing that Danzig has to a Stairway to Heaven. It's just that idea of going slow, building into something, and then descending again. And Helena does it well. And yeah, I mean, it's an enjoyable track. It's way more, it's metal played with a punk mentality. Okay. So it's far more metal than it is punk, but it's done with a punk energy. So that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool track. It's one of the better ones for sure. I agree with that.
Okay. Let's move on to our worst songs. I'll let
and you can tell us how you hate Fiend Club.
Go ahead, Sharpie. Go ahead.
Aaron Ruiz likes Fiend Club.
Where? No, I don't. Oh, where does he say that? Where did he say that?
Says I saw them at the Palace. Fiend Club was great. See?
Okay. All right. Listen, I'm trying not to yuck on your yums here, pal.
No. And that's the fun part, I think.
That is the fun part.
We might agree on this one, though. To me, the worst song's Pumpkinhead.
Listen, there were too many to put in my worst. So Pumpkinhead definitely could have been on there, like for sure.
So when you introduced this section, you said there's a lot of them that you don't like, and I'm with you on that. There's some really good songs on this album, but there are some really bad ones. So it was a little hard to pick which was the worst. But I put this one in there because not only do I not like the song, but there's actually like there's an error. When Graves sings a song, you can tell that he's reading it off a sheet of paper because the lyrics are really fast, right?
Yeah.
So the first, like, I guess it's a chorus that you come to. They say, let's see, I wrote it down here. I'm going to take you there. That's like a pre-chorus, I guess. I'm going to take you where your body will lie. I'm going to take you there, my friend. And then the second time they do that, they say the same thing. But then the third time they do it, they say, I'm going to take you where your body will lie. I'm going to take you there, she said, instead of saying my friend. Listen to the album. The first time they do that, he goes, I'm going to take you there, my friend. So he almost says she said. And they probably like patched it in because he sang the wrong line, but it made it on the album that way.
Yeah, maybe they just didn't have, maybe they were running out of time and money, and who knows?
Either way, listen to him sing that song. It's like a lot of crammed in lyrics. He's reading it off of paper. He doesn't know the words. he doesn't have them memorized.
Damn
and then
you,
he
Graves.
screws up a line. So anyway, out of a lot of them on here that I kind of don't like, this one topped my list because not only do I not like the song, but there's an error on the album. And you can tell he's reading it off a sheet of paper.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen for that.
Yeah.
My number one worst song on this whole album is Fiend Club. It's just, I just fucking hate that song.
I can see it. I can see it.
I just think to me, Fiend Club is the Crimson Ghost of Famous Monsters. It just, hey, we got to write a song about the Crimson Ghost. Hey, we got to write a song about the Fiend Club. It just does not. And apparently that song is Michael Graves writing that about Jerry Only, I think, is what that song is about. I think maybe
that's what I've heard.
Tank might have said that, or somebody said that. I don't remember. And I'm going to say, I'm not sure if Tank said that. I don't know definitively. Somebody said that.
It's been said.
It's been said. It's been said. I could be wrong. So yeah, man, there's nothing else for me to say. This is, for me, this is like just the bottom of the barrel. It's just for me. And again, you know, I will say this, if I would feel differently if I had seen them in 99 and was in like that communal pit where everybody's singing We Are the Fiend. I don't know. Probably not though. And yeah, nothing else to say about it. What is your secondary worst pick?
Well, it's kind of generic, but Kong at the Gates.
Okay.
But I have like, it's not just that I don't like it. It's just, I really don't like it because clearly there was this thing where they were just like, hey, we'll just remake American Psycho albums. So here's the template, right? So, we have to have an instrumental at the beginning to lead into the first song that we have that we feel like has a certain sound to it. And it's just not as good as Dr. Phibe's intro.
No, it's not.
And then it's like a minute and a half or something of just the same thing happening over and over. Maybe if they played the riff like once or twice and then went into the next song, maybe I wouldn't hate it so bad. But I just don't like it. And I feel like it was too much like, here's the formula. We have to have the intro song. So like whatever we come up with, it's going there. So I had to put it on for the worst.
I mean, I agree with everything you said. I'm not opposed to them doing a motif like that. Like I like the idea that they do that, but yeah, that one, it just feels a little bit lazy and dialed in and whatnot. So you'll get no protest from me. We're on to underrated. No. Sorry, my second.
You have to do your other worst.
My other worst it's a coin toss, really. I mean, there were so many I could have picked. I put both Scarecrow Man and Witch Hunt here. Witch Hunt is just fucking. I have like literally nothing to say about it. It's just fucking not good for this at all. And you know, I used to make a big stink about saying stuff like you should never say stuff sucks, like because you don't like, and like I still stand by that, but for the sake of doing this and what we're doing, like I don't have it. It's bad. It's just not good. It's not good.
Well, I'll say this: if you throw Kong at the Gates out, we all said Pumpkinhead, Scarecrow Man, and Witch Hunt.
That part has a bad little fire scare. It's just so fucking
it's cheesy.
Stupid. It's just cheesy, man. So
yeah, I
got nothing else to say about it. Just bleh.
Yeah, those are bad songs.
Bad songs, man. Not good for the album. Let's go to what is your underrated picks? And I wonder if they're going to be the same as mine.
My underrated is Forbidden Zone. And, I don't know that I listen to the song and I don't know if it's just such a solid song. Like I can't pull out a part that I'm like, that's great. But I also would play that song, play like a snippet of that song more like in the verse. And then put on like the verse of Astro Zombies and like click one on and then one off. And one off, and listen to it. And they're a lot the same. And that's a really strong song.
On this wasted piece of land.
Yeah, there's something about them that's similar.
All I want to say and all I gotta do. Who do I do this for? Hey, me. Oh, yeah, it's definitely kind of a rework to Astro Zombies in a weird kind of way. I'm gonna chime in here because Forbidden Zone is my underrated as well. I love Forbidden Zone.
Yes.
Forbidden Zone is another. It's about Planet of the Apes, and again, Tim Burton was working on Planet of the Apes, and Jerry was like, probably like, "Hey, for the kids, here, Astros, Forbidden Planet," you know. And it's just a great fucking tribute to Planet of the Apes. It's a great song. I nothing else to say about it. Just always enjoyed it. Always thought it was great. It's amazing how that for me, this record starts off so fucking strong, and then it just kind of crash and burns. What is your other underrated pick? Is it the same?
I just have one question. So for Forbidden Zone, did you ever make any connection to Astro Zombies with it or not?
Never. Okay. That's your discovery, and that's fucking you. I think you're spot the fuck on. And I love it. Makes me actually like Forbidden Zone a lot more, even more. I almost put Forbidden Zone was almost my other best pick.
The best, yeah.
And I just couldn't like.
It's close for me.
I was like, I'd rather these be the underrated picks because they're so. I feel like people don't talk about them. People talk about Helena. Yeah. People talk about Scream. Nobody talks about Forbidden Zone. So, So yeah.
It's good. I just don't know that it has the hook. Like, what's the part? Like, if you said
there's not really a hook to it. It's just
that's why I think though it can't be in best to me.
Yeah, no, I think that's sound reasoning right there. That's sound reasoning.
My other one's Die Monster Die.
Oh, and that's what somebody literally in the comments said as you were saying it. Combat says Combat 97 says it too. Rue Morgue, for the kids. I gotta put that on a t-shirt too.
Yeah,
for the kids.
Die Monster Die has a Walk Among Us sound too. And I think like the intros, if I'm
trying to remember how Die Monster Die goes again. Hey, you father, for you is that that's Dust to Dust?
No, First Things First, Miss Monroe.
Oh yeah.
So it kind of starts with I think it's just like guitar at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay. And then that palm you.
Yeah.
First things first, Miss Monroe rises from the dead.
Right. I know which one. Yeah, it's like again, like that for me. That's somewhere. I'm sorry. Were you done talking about it? Did you have anything else you want?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
For me, just something that middle of the fiddle, just like whatever. Take it. Definitely not the worst, but not anything that I find remotely interesting on the album either. Just kind of like indifferent too. For my other underrated pick, Rue Morgue mentioned it above. Shout out to Rue. I didn't highlight it at the time because I knew it was my pick. Is motherfucking Lost in Space, baby. That is a great underrated fucking song. It's a great fucking riff, whatever, however it goes. Of all the things I taught you, I'm telling you this. Do this one. And it's written again for the fucking Lost in Space remake movie, which I also fucking love. They talk about the mutant suicide squads that are in the beginning of fucking Lost in Space. Here comes another mutant suicide squad. And I love that fucking 1998 Lost in Space movie. So you get that again. Jerry was just so fucking thirsty for that. It just never happened for them. But they got a great fucking song. Am I far away on the right lead? Da, 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 Lost in Space. It's great. It's fucking great. And that also could have been in my best too. And I just didn't pick it because I just couldn't. I don't know. I ended up doing Helena. I felt like Helena had to be on there. But yeah, fucking Lost in Space.
I like it.
Okay.
The one thing that always bothers the guitar riff that's played during the verse always reminded me of something that would be like not the like if you stripped everything off it and just had like the guitar riff and the drums, it sounds like a song that would be like entrance music for a wrestler.
Yeah, totally. which kind of
And it
lines
just
up.
yeah, it just always bothered me for some reason. Though I'm like, that sounds
Really?
like a wrestler entrance song.
Real quick, Jay on here asked me, am I still planning on reading Crazy Fool book on my channel? Yes, I will get to that at some point. Crazy Fool is the biography of Bradley James Noel from Sublime. It came out in the 90s. It's got a lot of scathingly raw real truth that nobody really talks about anymore as it relates to the band Sublime. But this is a Misfits show, so we're not going to talk about that now. But just wanted to confirm that yes, that will happen at some point. I do things on my own time, on my own schedule as time affords me. But I will absolutely get to it for sure. There's a fun mashup on my YouTube channel on YouTube called My Chemical Romance versus Misfits Dead in Space. Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
And Biz really likes all of our choices. Thank you, Biz. Much appreciated. Biz's nickname is Horror Biz, but we always just say Biz. Okay, so we're on to Cuts from the Crypt.
We're on the cuts.
The Cuts, baby, for the kids. All right, so Cuts is a collection of demos and formerly unreleased tracks and covers. And they Jerry had to give the label one more record, and so they got 3 records that have a minimum in 5 years. They had 3 records with 17 tracks on each. I mean, that's more than Sam Hain did, and don't ever apologize for changing the subject. If I didn't want to address it, I would have just ignored your comment, but don't apologize at all. It's totally fine. And so, yeah, we're going through this, and this didn't really have a producer. It's everything's scraped together. At this time, the band is broken up, and Jerry's on the M25 tour. He has Graves sing, and they're supporting. I guess this is the record that's in support of that tour, I would imagine. And this was very hard to do this for because I have not listened to this very much, and I really it was almost excruciating to have to put this together because I was I don't even know what to do. My picks will probably piss off a lot of people. I know that there are some fans out there that do love, there's certain things they do love from this record. And yeah, I don't know. So
I like it. I like the record.
Okay. All right, good. So let's hear your best. Let's hear your best of the best.
Yeah. So, I mean, this record let us have the Bruiser music,
It sure did. It sure did.
So, Fiend Without a Face is the best song on the album. I'll chime back to what I said the last 2. This is kind of like my Dig Up Her Bones Part 3 or my Saturday Night Part 2.
Wow.
You take Dig Up Her Bones, Saturday Night, and Fiend Without a Face, and that's kind of to me, it's a trilogy of Michael Graves' version of the Misfits. I feel like those were songs that he wrote where he kind of had free reign to do whatever he wanted, more at least than the others. He didn't have to worry about trying to fit into the Misfits mold as much. And so they're a trilogy that's on each album. I feel like he has a song that's defining of him. So I picked that as the best song on the album. I love it. And watching the movie's cool. And then just the little production thing. There's these keyboard swells in the chorus that I just always thought were really cool. That adds a lot to the song. It's almost like a keyboard, but I think it's something emulating strings.
Like a MIDI.
Yeah, they're just these swells. You'll hear them. When he said, begin to shoot the fiend without a face. Oh,
kind
of pulsating.
I think I know.
They're really cool. They add a lot to the song.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think I know. Our poll currently has Famous Monsters at 53%, with American Psycho at 43%, and Cuts from the Crypt has gone down 1% to 3%. So for my first pick, I Theme Without a Face, man, like I literally have nothing to say about it. I have nothing to say about it. In fact, I probably listened to that song twice or something. I don't even know, just non-existent. And when I was listening to it this time around, just not for me. For me, I picked the cover. This is a cover that the Misfits, that the 77 to 83 Misfits used to do with Glenn Danzig. And when Glenn would sing the lyrics, he changed the words. It's the Iggy Pop song, I Gotta Write. It's not an Iggy Pop song, it's a Stooges song. It's actually Iggy and the Stooges, which is different from the Stooges. Once Dave Alexander exited the band and James Williamson joined on guitar, and Ron Ashton switched to bass, and the Ashton brothers became the rhythm section of the band. The band changed into this new dangerous creature, and they put out Raw Power, and they started working on tracks for another record. And one of those tracks was I Gotta Write, which came out in 1973. I Gotta Write, as written by Jack Rabbit, is considered to be, if you know, at least this was his surmisation after the fact, of course. If you want to throw a pin, if you want to throw a bullseye, a dart, I thought this was such a brilliant sort of appraisal of the situation. If you want to throw a dart at when punk rock, the modern true sound of punk rock begins, the very first true song, like the song, the energy, that whatever, is I Gotta Write, 1973. And go listen to I Gotta Write. You might have heard the Misfits version. Go listen to the original Stooges version and have your face melted off when you consider the fact that this came out in 1973. You listen to that and you go, holy fucking shit. How the fuck? Like, what is this? Like, this is insane. And the Misfits would cover it when they covered it with Glenn Danzig. They would sing, he would sing, instead of saying, anytime I want, I got a right to move, no matter what they say, he said, anytime I want, I got a right to kill, no matter what they say. And that's what they would do during rehearsal. You know, all the 77 punk bands, they revered Iggy and the Stooges just a few years earlier, who had started doing this more primitive proto-punk music. So it's like when they come along, when all the other bands come along, Iggy's already been in the scene for 10 years. He's already this fucking warrior. So these guys revered him. And then in the 90s, when at some point they do this cover, I think they did it for We Will Fall, which is a tribute to Iggy Pop from the 90s, with Graves singing. And Graves does a pretty good job. Doing I Gotta Write. I think it's probably the best track. And obviously I have a bias because I love the Stooges as much as I do. And I could talk about the Stooges in the same way that I could talk about the Misfits or any of my other bands that I feel fanatical about. And I think that they just do a great job with it. So I Gotta Write is my number one pick.
Nice. I like that song a lot. I don't have much else to say though.
This episode is full of wonderful, awkward pauses after someone else says something where
I Gotta Write is a great song.
No, but it's beautiful because it's informative of how we feel about each other's picks, and I love it.
Sure.
Like, it's amazing. Yeah. It's really amazing. So that's fine. You like I Gotta Write. What's your first pick?
The Haunting. So one of the things I like.
Yeah, okay.
When I said I like cuts from the Crypt, a lot of the reason I like it is I think American Psycho is amazing, and we get a lot of those songs. I've always been a person that half the time that I hear, a half-produced version demo of something, I end up liking that version better, even though in reality it's not a better version as far as studio production. So The Haunting, I think I probably like The Haunting better on Cuts from the Crypt than I do on American Psycho. So I mean that's basically it, but The Haunting, a really good song from American Psycho too.
Darkness bleeds violent sides, it purges from within, death it holds you in its arms.
And there's some lyric changes in this version. Not sure what they are anymore exactly, but there's a few lines here and there that it's like different words.
That's the beauty of
which covers. Is just fun to hear.
Sorry, not covers. Demos. That's the beauty. Yeah. That's the beauty of demos. I'm a big fan of demos because I love to watch the as you basically everything that you said, I love. First of all, The Haunting is a great song, and probably would be, if I had more choices for underrated songs, would probably make the underrated cut for American Psycho. But the beautiful thing about demos is that you get to see the song take shape and come to life, and the choices that were made. And for me, I love seeing that process. I love hearing the subtle differences. I don't view them as songs as much as they are historical documents. They're documentaries about the making of a song that I love and cherish. So to hear the demos with alternate lyrics or different arrangements or slowed down or sped up, for instance, if you go out there, you could find Richard O'Brien's demos for the Rocky Horror Picture Show on acoustic guitar that he made a demo tape. It was just a shitty like scratch recording that he was going to give to Richard Hartley to do the music for the first original cast recording. And these songs, they sound like Lou Reed. He's playing all the songs like Lou Reed. Demos give you a sort of a view into the space of the creator's mind, into how you can kind of see what they were thinking, where they were coming from, and where they were going. And it's just they're wonderful rough sketches. And so I am endlessly fascinated by them and always welcoming of them in these kind of avenues. And obviously from the 90s through the 2000s, really, we had, you would get these expanded editions where they would of records and CDs where they would just give you all this supplemental material. This would be the equivalent of if you have a Blu-ray with the supplemental with deleted scenes, you'd get demos, and the demos would just be so fucking good and fascinating. So fucking love them, man.
Yeah, there's even there's lyrics that are different, but then there's a line at the darkness bleeds violent sights. And in the studio cut, that word sights is only like 2 notes. So he changes pitch. But on this demo one, it's like 3 notes. It's like sight. But on the studio, American Psycho, it's only sight. And so he's actually like kind of taken away from it. So that had to be a decision that was made, because they didn't add to it for the later one. They actually took away from it, which was interesting.
That is interesting. But yeah, in any case, great pick. My second pick is the other cover. It's Monster Mash with Jerry Only singing. This is where I've talked. Listen, I'm not going to do the whole spiel because I did a whole episode. I spent a whole hour talking about Jerry Only's vocals. Like, I really went fucking deep trying to understand this man and how he sings and why he sings and whatnot. And his strongest attempts at vocals have always been the 50s stuff, particularly Monster Mash, which is the very first thing that he took lead on. And he does a great, on this version, it's not him trying to like sing. It's him like going, hey, I'm the bass player, not in a novelistic way, like as a novelty, I'm just going to sing Monster Mash. And it's fucking fun. And it's just there's nothing particularly great musically about the song. It's just fun. And so for me, that was my other pick. You could call that a cop-out, picking the 2 covers, but that's what it is. So
I actually really like that one too, and would have picked it, but there's a version out there, and I think they like played it. They did like a live TV taping somewhere, and they played it, and Graves was there, and Graves does like a
backing vocal.
He's doing backing vocals, but he sings it more as like a lead vocal part. And having heard that, if it would have been like that on this record, I'd probably pick it. And had I not heard that version, I'd probably rank it higher. But knowing that I've heard that other version makes me just notch it down a little bit. Okay.
That totally.
And I'm not a big Jerry Only lead singer, but the song they did right after this, which was where they did that Balzac cover, The Day the Earth Caught Fire.
Right.
I love him doing that. That's the best thing he ever sang.
I used to hate on that a lot, but as I said in that episode, that is his most honest and raw and true vocal. And
I love that
because he's authentic.
Him doing it.
Yeah, it's so authentic. I actually prefer that to him trying to sing so polished. It just sounds more real to me. So
he sounds really cool on that.
All right, let's go for the.
What?
You're going to be very mad at me for the next section, but go ahead. What are your worst?
New York Ranger. Someone said it on there. I don't even
Yeah.
like clearly they just need it like whatever, like you talked about. This was like a contract.
Short music for short people.
And but to put out cuts, there must have been there was a contract to put out another album, but
Right.
must have had to have been like a certain amount of time or a certain amount of tracks.
Yeah.
Just got put on there. I just don't understand why it's on there. A, it's bad. B, you have like some other guy that never sang in the band before singing it. It has nothing to do with like the rest of the band. Like concept wise, it doesn't fit with the band. So I just don't get it, and it's stupid.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, it's on. So I'll jump on that. I put it in. I tied it with another one. I had to put Ranger on there too because it's just it's an abomination of a track. My pick is Bruiser, man. I really do not like Bruiser. Again, I know that there's a lot of people out there that do like Bruiser, including I think Sharpie here likes Bruiser. Bruiser for me, they feels like they've deviated so far away from what they were doing and not in a positive kind of direction. And then people are like, yeah, this is like Misfits, like Misfits. And I don't get it, man. I don't get the love for Bruiser. I just don't get it. Yeah, that's all I got to say about it.
My other worst. So I love the song. I Got It Right. I love that song.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not the band to do it. And that's what I put down.
Oh, I Got It Right is your worst. Oh, all right.
But only because this band is not a good fit for the song.
Okay. Hey. Okay.
So
I'm glad we did that. I did the same for you on the other one, so I'm glad.
Yeah. So the original song,
yes,
great. But to me, that it was just, sometimes you have a band that you really like and they do a cover of a song that you also like, and you're just like, no, it doesn't work for me. And that's just how I always felt about that one.
Okay.
So,
hey, that's fucking that makes sense, and that's why you skipped over. You can always tell when something's going to show up later when the other person doesn't talk about it.
Well, I said I really like the song. I really like the song. I Got It Right.
Hey, totally. I'm glad you do. My other pick is No More Moments, man. Fuck, like
no problem there.
I think that's also, isn't that that's a Bruiser song as well? I think.
No, I think that was for like some other project.
Okay.
But,
no, it was for Campfire Stories. Fiend Without a Face was for Bruiser. I didn't realize that. Oh shit.
Yeah.
I had that all wrong. Yeah, No More Moments. Oof. Just not.
Fiend Without a Face and Bruiser were the two Bruiser songs.
Interesting. Yeah,
but No More Moments is bad.
Yeah, just I have nothing to say about it. It's not.
Yeah, I don't either.
Not good. Not good. Are we on to the final? What's your other one?
Yeah, no, we did them both.
Oh, right. Yeah, you said Ranger. Okay. We're on to
Ranger
our underrated.
And I Got It Right.
All right. Underrated.
All
Ready.
Right. Yep.
Go ahead.
My number one is 1 million years BC.
Okay.
It's just a 1, 2, 3, 4 go song. And to me, it's just catchy. And in production, the bass I feel like the bass is probably mixed in as loud as the guitar, and they're just like super muddy together. But to me, it sounds cool that way.
Yeah, I mean,
so that's really all there is to it.
That's cool.
I like the lyrics are cool. Just overall, I wouldn't say, again, it's not in a best category for me, but I never skip that song if I listen to that album. So,
okay. I have nothing positive nor negative to say about it. And when I was listening to it, the only thing I'll say is, and Unfortunately, like I said, I don't have anything negative to say about it, but when I was listening, I listened for a little bit and I kind of skipped ahead to the next track. It just doesn't do anything for
it's
me.
just kind of there.
It's just there. It's just there. I picked the Hunger demo, and I didn't pick it because it was a demo. I just didn't know what else to pick. And I really do like that song, The Hunger. And I was very upset that I had to leave it off of my American Psycho picks. It's a great fucking track about vampires. It's short, sweet, to the point. Erupt in violence. Just no, that's not it. Fuck. The Hunger, the blood quench. You wanted to. Oh, we are the judges of ancient descendants. Was made.
That's good.
Great. Yeah, it's great. You can totally. It's kind of. You know what's funny about The Hunger is it's actually the Hunger, in the same way that I said Helena is a metal song played with a punk attitude. The Hunger is a punk song played with metal attitude in a way. You could almost take those lyrics and kind of turn it into, it could almost be like, and we are the children of ancient. Like I just imagine like a hair metal band or something, I don't know, pulling that song out like Taffy a little bit. And it's a good song. And that's it. That's all I got to say about it.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I could have any of those American Psycho demos that were on this one, I probably could have put into this category too.
Yeah. What's your final one?
My final underrated is Bruiser, because everyone hates it.
Oh,
poor. And I don't care. I don't care if everyone hates it. I think it's good. And it's shocking this made the list because I happen to know that Jerry wrote this song. And I normally don't like songs composed by Jerry, but I happen to like this Jerry effort. So I picked it. It always made me laugh because if you'd go see like Michael Graves play somewhere after, like once he was on his own, people would come to the show and they would yell for him to play Bruiser. And obviously he would always go, what? He'd go Loser. He'd call it Loser because it was Jerry's song, which I always thought was really funny. And then the one other tidbit I want to put into it, and for some reason I can't think of what it was when I went through this, but the chorus of that song is the same riff, and maybe someone will be able to tell us what it is. And I used to always say it, but like the chorus riff of Bruiser is the same as like a Bruce Springsteen or a John Cougar Mellencamp song. It's like exactly the same. Does anyone know what that is? And it always made me laugh. And I'd always say what it was, but that was long ago. And now I couldn't put my finger on what song it was, but it's like the same riff. And I'm like, that now sounds like Jerry to be like, let me use this Bruce Springsteen riff
for the kids
song
for the kids.
Yeah. So, but no, I always, you know, again, I don't think it's a great song, but to do an underrated and partially knowing that a lot of people give it guff, I put it on there because I do like the song.
Jody is asking, what about the exclusive Evil Live 2? I do not include live albums on these tier lists because, you know, it makes it more complicated. So I didn't do Evil Live, and therefore I'm not doing Evil Live 2. So it got, plus Evil Live 2 has a lot of Misfits song. I just didn't make any sense. I mean, it was already hard enough doing the Misfits one because I had so many repeating tracks. At least this one was a little bit easier in that regard. My final pick for the night, and I want to thank Sharpie again for coming on the channel. And, you know, we love Sharpie here, and we appreciate his sponsorship, and we're always glad to have, you know, every once in a while we do a Riot Stickers episode, showcase, whatever. And that was the episode tonight. So again, I want to thank him for coming on, and he's always welcome to join us whenever he has an idea for something as well. My final pick is Black Light, the demo, not because it's a demo, but because the song is fucking great. And I didn't, another song that I almost put on, another one of those songs. It kind of feels like a song. It kind of feels like the song that you would hear on the soundtrack, maybe like Rocky, like the third act, and like Rocky's down in the ropes, and he's got that whole motivation. That
I'm with you.
Let your body die, become the beast in which you fear.
I like it. I like it.
Cry the children of the night. Great fucking song, dude. Just really great. I think that's also a great song. It's one of the first songs they ever played live as the Misfits 95, like new Misfits songs.
Yeah.
That was one of the first songs they rolled out. They rolled out 3 new ones, and that was one of them. And yeah, it's a great fucking track. I think it's written by Graves, and Graves did a great job with it, man. It's just fucking it's just fucking good. Noah's saying do Sam Hain next. You better fucking believe it, buddy. We'll do Sam Hain, we'll do Danzig as well. We'll have to split Danzig up. I'll split Danzig up as Danzig 1 through 4, and then the rest of them, because it really is 2 different mentalities and mindsets and eras. Speaking of which, I actually need to text John Christ, because we need to get that John Christ shit back on the channel. So that's coming soon as well. By the way, if you were not here at the beginning, I'm going to say this. That's the end of the show, folks. We did it. We went through it. I, again, want to thank my guest for being on here.
Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still have to. I think I already know.
Shit. Oh, shit. You're right.
Yeah, we got to do the album.
Yeah, I told you to remind me because I was going to fucking forget. Yeah. I mean, this is so fucking blatantly obvious. What, I mean, I think
we'll have a difference, though.
All right. So should I go first? Do you want to go first?
Well, so I would assume that we both can agree that American Psycho would be our best.
Hands fucking down, it's the best, of course.
Okay. Yeah, okay. But then I think the other 2 we'd probably have a difference on, because to me, as much as there's some really awesome songs on Famous Monsters, I would still worse that because there's some really bad songs on there. And I'd rather hear those. If there was no other way to hear them, I'd rather hear those demos from American Psycho on Cuts, and I'd rather have the Bruiser movie songs on Cuts. So
okay,
I would underrate Cuts.
All right, I'm gonna break the rules to the game. American Psycho is also the underrated pick for me, and the worst picks are both fucking Famous Monsters and Cuts from the Crypt.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Fair.
I don't think it's not fair per se, but you know,
what's a fair assessment?
I guess. I'm glad I'm glad. Thank you for reminding me. I would have forgotten that.
Yeah.
Is there anything we need to know from Riot Stickers coming up that is important?
We can just if anyone wants to chime in on anything that they'd like to see, maybe we can bring back the other deal that was doing 1,000 stickers instead of the smaller amount. We could do that.
I'm going to tell you, I get people ask me about that shit frequently. Not frequently.
Yeah.
But people ask me about that deal. That was the fucking golden deal.
We could do that again. And then just, the biggest question that we always get, people just always say, well, I have like a picture or a design, but I don't know what format you want it in or what size I need. And all you have to do is just go on our site and send it to us. And then we'll take care. Like, we'll tell you what you need. If there's any issues with it, we fix it. We don't charge anything to fix your artwork to make it ready for print.
We have a word, us Jews. We have a word for someone like that. You know what we call them? A mensch. A mensch.
That's me.
He's a mensch. It's Yiddish. It's Yiddish for a good guy. He's a mensch.
We do that, and I guess that's about it. I think maybe we'll bring that other deal back though. People like that a lot and can switch it up.
Yeah. So,
and the only other thing that I would always like to do, everyone that listens to this channel, I don't know how many of them play music, but you've all heard the theme song, the Riot Stickers song a lot of times. If anyone would ever record their own version of that song and send it
a contest.
It doesn't even need to be a contest. If we can make it be a contest, but if anyone records a cover version of that and sends it to us, like I'll make you stickers on the house just
Or
to hear
not.
or to hear someone else do a version of it. We can do that. So if you have recording equipment and you're
Or
a music person,
contest.
yeah, set it up and we'll do it,
Oh, wow.
So-
This is amazing. Thank you.
I'd like to hear other people do it. It'd be cool.
Yes, you should. Noah, you should definitely going to use Riot Stickers for your band. Thank you, Rue. I will absolutely Mushroom. I promise I will do Pixies and Nirvana. Those are very easy tier lists to do because they're just easier for me to do than say The Damned. Definitely make sure to do that. And that's it. That's all we got for you. So we're going to wrap it up here. I got to get to sleep because I got to wake up so fucking goddamn early tomorrow. But again, I want to thank Sharpie for coming on. This was I love doing these shows. These are so much fun.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So much fucking fun to do these picks and talk about music because that's what we do here. So as always, we say peace, hair grease, and we'll see you next time.